Financial unstable, the new America, the new subprime car loan crisis, and economic crash news. Hey, gang, welcome. Today I have exciting um, information I want to share with you and great opportunities that are going to be upon us for all the entrepreneurs in the world or America or in Canada, wherever you may be. Um, Exciting news, but at the same time, very sad news that I like to share with you, but with anything in life, whatever is negative always has a token of positivity with it. And the positivity is that there's a lot of opportunities in the horizon of 2020. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is how bankers and how dealerships are taking advantage of just the average American by selling them a dream, in reality, a debt that they really can't afford. And a great example is that because of the financial trouble that our economy is in, the loosening of lending has happened. For example, the Dodd-Frank Act was repealed and loosened up so bankers can lend and make more money off of our savings. So when we put money into a bank, we think it's our money, but in reality, it's not our money. We're just the unsecured creditor. The bank takes that money and invests in derivatives, which is very, very risky. They invest our money into stocks, into other risky loans for them to make more money. Now, what has happened is that recently I've been shopping for a car. I'm thinking about taking my family on a 6 month to a year cross country to around America and camping and seeing America. So I went to different car dealerships to buy a new car and pay cash for it. But what I noticed is that few years ago, the car dealers were very, very motivated to sell you a car. Today, they understand that there's easy lending and there's a lot of people that can't afford a car. So when they come to a car dealership, they're like, please, can I get a car? Can I get approved? And usually, with the easy, relaxed lending that's going on, car manufacturers, car dealerships are able to get the borrower, the person buying this car, into a debt that they really can't afford. And what they do is they expand it out over 6, 7 years just to buy a car, just to get the monthly payments lower because the average consumer doesn't understand how to negotiate, doesn't know how to buy a big ticket item. And all they care about is, can I afford the monthly payments? Someone very close to me, very dear to me, I'm not going to say their name, came to me and said they're looking to buy a car and they're trying to get the lowest monthly payments possible. And if I could help them negotiate buying a car for them. And since I love this person, I told them, look, I'll do it for you, but you're approaching it all wrong. When you want to buy a car, what you want to do is get the lowest sales price on the car. So instead of focusing on your attention on how much you have to put down or how much you have to put as a monthly payment, what you need to focus on is the debt balance, the debt you're going to incur. So the lower the asking price, the less of your debt, which means less of money you have to put down, which means less of your monthly payments, lower monthly payments will be, versus the other way around where the dealers take control and they stretch out that debt for a very long time. But the point of the story is not that. Okay. The point of the story is that more and more people are getting into subprime car loans that they cannot afford. And the only reason they're able to afford it is for three reasons, or there could be more, but just to simplify it, one, there's loose lending. What I mean by that is that anyone can get a loan. I went to, again, this is my personal experience. I went to multiple car dealerships. On these people's car dealerships, they were having banner ads saying, do you have a bankruptcy? Do you have a repo? You don't have a social security. We don't even need your birth date. We can give you a loan. So when you're advertising to a lot of buyers, then what happens is that the price of the car is going to go up because there's so many people that can buy this car because they don't have to have the down payment. They don't have to have a good credit. And more importantly, they don't even have to have the cash to buy it, because loose lending allows so many buyers to buy the car, which now pushes the asset of cars to go up. That's why um, there's so many assets and bubbles. Like cars are high. For example, a few years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you could buy a F-150 for $15,000 when I was going to high school and college. $18,000. The same F-150 will sell over $40,000, $50,000. That's because there's too many buyers that can qualify for a loan, which means that the price of the products keep going up and up because there's too many buyers. It's simple economic. Same thing has happened with real estate. There are parts of the country that the price of real estate has doubled, unheard of, in just 10 years. So in 10 years, the price have doubled. One of those places is Denver, okay? Colorado. Real estate has just doubled. In 10 years, if you had a $400,000 home, now it's worth 800. Well, the reason is loose lending, okay? When it comes to real estate, they loosen so much different policies that they have to qualify for a FHA or a VA loan. For example, today people can get a VA loans with no money down. For example, they changed the debt to income ratio because so many people have so much debt and they have so much student debt, so they want to get more people buying homes, so the economy keeps moving. So they've loosened the lending, which the side effect of that is that the price of homes have gone up. Same thing with price of houses. So the crisis comes into that we are creating an unstable society that cannot afford to save. They can't afford to buy stuff for cash. And they're at the mercy of these dealers and banks. And what dealers and banks are doing is they're dressing up these people's income, making it even more shiny or fluffing it up for the banks to lend them money. Because guess what? The banks makes money when they lend money. The dealership makes money when they get sell a car, and the borrower, of course, is going to feel really good because they just got a car, not knowing that they just got a toxic loan, not knowing that they got really high interest rate. Now, in the car business, I've coached students that have successful car businesses and they're making millions of dollars. And what I realize is there's basically three types of loans, if I could simplify it. And the crisis in all three types of loans. Um, the very first ones is just the average people, the traditional people that have good credit and they go to the banks, what have you. Okay. So I'm not going to talk about that. But the second part is that people that are subprime, the people that should not be getting the car because they have a bankruptcy, they have foreclosures, they have bad credit, but now banks are lending to these people, okay? And not your Wells Fargo, but there are a bunch of other banks like Allied and other smaller banks are willing to partner up with these car dealerships to lend people the money. And usually the borrower does not qualify. The borrower cannot afford to pay the monthly payments. So what they do is they expand it out over like 7 years, 10 years, whatever they can get, so the borrower can afford to make the monthly payments. But in reality, the borrower is going to default. Okay. Now, this section of the business has increased tremendously, all the way from Toyotas to Hondas, all the way down to the used market. Okay. Now, this sector has gone up significantly, and there's been I think, a lot of fraud happening here because borrowers go there, they don't qualify. The dealer basically dresses it up, the application, because this is what they do all the time. They know what the banks are looking for, and they dress it up, get the borrower the debt or the car, and the dealer makes money. Everyone is happy, besides the consequence of the borrower down the line, which is they're going to default. Now, the defaults are already here because just a couple of months ago, I brought to you guys that there was 7 million Americans defaulting on their car payments. But let's go back to the story, and we'll come back to that, to the story of three types of loans, which is the traditional, now what I call the subprime crisis that's happening. But there's also another sector of um, lenders out there, and the car business. What they do is what's called in-house financing. Okay, and with in-house financing is the people that have good credit. Somehow they fell off the force and they became subprime loan borrowers. Somehow they got the car repo and they're in the third level of financing, which is in-house financing. And what these car dealerships do is For example, they have a car. Let's say this car is worth $5. What they do is they say, look, this car is worth $10, but we'll do in-house financing. You got to give us 50% of the price. Okay, so basically $5. So that car dealership doesn't lose any money because whatever they invested in this car, normally they get that money back in the 50% down, plus maybe like 10% in profits. Maybe they bought the car for 40% and they get 50% down, and the remaining they finance through like biweekly payments, and the borrower just comes to the dealership and make the payments. Usually these types of cars are just junk cars. They're not even worth the money. And the dealership doesn't care because his business is to lend to someone, get their down payment, they default, they go repo the car, and they come back and do it over and over because it's kind of like they're the bank and the dealership themselves. And this is a very, very lucrative business because unlike the second stage, the dealership is going to a bank. They're going to, some of the smaller banks are not like, everyone knows that you probably didn't ever heard of these banks, and they're getting the loans for these borrowers that shouldn't qualify. But the other dealers, they're becoming the bank, and they're doing it even smarter. They're going out there picking these cars up at 40 cents on a dollar, turning around, selling it twice as much as what it's worth because they're willing to finance people that can't get cars in level one or level two financing, and they have to use their services. And they usually get their money and plus some on the down payment, and they finance the car. Normally, people will default because their car will break down. The car is not worth it, and they repo it, and they keep doing it, and they keep doing it. Now, we can see who's making the money. The bankers are making money. They're sitting back there clean. They're making money by lending to people with our savings, okay? Because the bankers don't have any money. The level two, they're making a lot of money because a lot of people shouldn't be getting cars, and they're getting them into cars. And the level three is making a killing and just being, more predatory than the level two. All right. But the opportunity comes for entrepreneurs like myself or any other person that's an entrepreneur or a real estate investor or even a car dealership or anyone that wants to get into the car business or any other business, um, is that we're going to have a flood, a tornado, a tsunami of highly motivated sellers here in America because we're at the stage where most people that I know, they're highly educated, they have two jobs, or they have one job and the wife works, and they both work, and they still can't get their heads over water. Now, you may see these people driving nice cars and they have nice homes and everything, but behind the scene, they're struggling to make payments because no matter how much they make, they could be high earners. They're making $1 million a year. They're making 500. They don't know how to be financially free. Whatever they make, they spend. Not only they spend that, they also got to borrow. Just yesterday or the day before that, I brought to you how the banks are making killing with credit cards, 28%, 29%, and defaults are at all-time high. So they made a lot of money, and now they're going to write it off through the defaults and then get the bailouts from us. Because remember 2006, 2007, 2008, we're the ones that bailed out Capital One, Bank of America, Citibank, and Big Brother give them a lot of money, and we're the one that pay the cost. So the bankers never lose, and the losers are going to be the people that go to the car dealership and beg because they don't have money to buy the car, and they're so happy to just qualify, not realizing they're getting a toxic loan, higher interest than they should deserve or they qualify for because they're going to these dealerships, and the dealerships make money off loans. One example is that if you have par credit and you can get a 3% interest, the way the dealership finance makes money is they know you got a par 3% interest. What they do is they add 3% more on top, and they offer you 6% and they pocket through a kickback from the lenders, guys. And so that's why dealerships are making money on the financing, is because no matter what your credit score is, they add a couple more points because they get that money up front. So everyone's winning, but the actual working class are losing because there's too much printing of money by the Federal Reserve. There's too much inflation, And the average working class American, the middle class, they're getting further behind and behind. And now they don't want to tell you about it. They don't want to show it to you. They have fancy stuff and they got to keep up with the Joneses. But behind the scenes, they're just struggling to come up because they have so much debt. They have so much car notes. They have mortgages. They have all these things. And if they don't, they will sink really, really quick. And it's a very sad situation. But on the other hand, the flip side, there's a great opportunity in 2020. Okay, in every sector you could think about it. If you're into cars, if you're into motorcycles, if you're starting businesses, if you're into buying stocks, if you're into real estate, uh, there's great opportunities. One of the best opportunities that I know of is something that I've created and I use it myself. Is where you can start your own business. Okay, for with $100 capital, and the risk is only that $100. Okay, and you can get a return of 200 times, 200x, 2x, all the way to 700% of your money, which means you start this business called the new flip. You invest $100 and you can get 200 return. You can make 500 in return. You can make 700 return. And this works in all parts of the country. And even I have students in Great Britain applying this. So it works everywhere. And it basically teaches you to be your own boss. It teaches you all the skills of, buying wholesale, selling retail. It teaches you uh, the ability to make money where you are, start where you stand without debt. I mean, that's the most important part is to be your dreams without begging a stinky banker would they allow you to be their dreams because that's not that's not what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is not debtpreneur. Entrepreneurship is about you just closing your eyes and you manifest what you want, what you dream, what's in your heart, right? You manifest something out of nothing because nothing is the abundance of creation. Nothingness makes everything. For example, if you look at a house, the emptiness of the home is where all the living happens, not the walls. Okay. Same thing with many other things like in your body, right? Or in your cells. Majority of the cells or in the atom is emptiness. So to be your dreams is about creating what you want from your brain or from your heart into the reality. It's not about getting into debt because any business that you have to do, you have to get into debt. Is probably not a good business. Now, there's a lot of different people that talk about good debt and bad debt. And I agree with all these ideas and I respect every single individual out there. But for me personally, I don't like bankers. I don't like to have a slave master. I don't like to beg a banker for some money. I don't care if they make it super easy or easy qualification. I don't care, right? Because I know end of the day, I want to be a free man. End of the day, I don't want to, owe anyone any money. I don't want to be scared because I can't sleep because I have borrowed too much. And I don't like bankers because I know the power is in me and the power is in you. And that's why I do my YouTube channels to blow air into your cell ship to help you realize that America is a great country, right? You can be your dreams the way you are, start where you stand, and the winds are blowing. I mean, we're going to, in my opinion, not financial advice, we're at the part where if you have your boat, it doesn't matter if you have a little boat, if you have a big boat, as long as you have your sails up, which means you're willing to take risks, the wind's about to start blowing. They're already starting to blow, and I can see the symptoms of motivation everywhere I look. And they're just not televised it on TV for you. But you'll see very very soon that all these people that got into car loans, they're going to default. And once they default, that means they can't go to work. Once they can't go to work, that means they can't pay their mortgages on their homes. Once they can't pay their mortgages, then you can see the side effects of what's happening. And at the same time, you're going to see a bunch of corporations in America or go belly up. Okay, they're already starting to do that right now. In 2020 and 2019, we have over 100,000 people being laid off from Gap all the way to Sears, all the way to Claire's, all the way to Victoria's Secret, all the way to Best Buy, all the way to GM, all the way to Ford. Guys, you just look everywhere. Okay, with tariffs, with sanctions, with so much debt. from corporations. The wind's going to be blowing, and a lot of people will get blown away. And if you just have your cells up, then you could help other people and create a win-win situation for you and for them. One of the greatest strategies that I use personally is called the new flip, where I've created it strategy where you can, from your computer, make money. You don't have to do any sales. You don't have to do any cold calling, but you learn a whole lot of skills on how to start a business with just $100. Now you can lose your $100. That's why it's called a business. That's why it's called entrepreneurship. No risk, no reward. But guess what? You're better off losing $100 and making a mistake versus borrowing from a hard money lender $100,000 or putting on your credit card $10,000 and say, "Oh shit, I made a mistake." So you're better off risking $100 capital and losing that and learning a whole bunch of lessons versus borrowing a bunch of money. Okay. But on the flip side, you have the opportunity to make 2x to 7x return very, very fast if you follow the instructions. Approved instruction, there's manuals, there's copy and paste. I just show you exactly what to do. Doesn't matter if you're in California, you're in Texas, or you're in New Mexico, or you're in Great Britain, or if you're in Germany, if you're in England, it doesn't matter. It works because it teaches you the psychological aspect of buying stuff at wholesale and then selling at retail. It teaches you how to talk to people. It teaches you how to give offers, how to negotiate, how to start a business, how to do your math, how the whole aspect with only $100, and it's called a new flip. And you can download it right now at My Real Estate Dojo. Why should you download it? Because I believe in it, right? I use it right now. I've used this strategy as a refugee to America. If I wasn't confident about the strategy, I wouldn't just donate my stuff after 14, 15 years of building multiple little empires as a refugee to America and just giving it to homeless people because I knew I could do it again because the stuff didn't make me. I created this stuff and I'm now packaged it for you. It's called the new flip. And you'll be amazed where you can make maybe as much money that you're getting paid for at your job, working for yourself, just through the new flip. And once you download it, you have to take action because if you don't take action, nothing's going to work, guys. I have so many students that come, they don't take action, they just want to learn, learn, learn. Well, you're not going to get anywhere besides into debt with learning. The real action happens is with action, not learning, ladies and gentlemen. And the new flip has everything there because the wind's about to be blowing and they're already blowing with motivated sellers. And if you want to learn how to buy stuff from motivated sellers and make 2x to 7x, that's 700% returns, then you need to download a new flip at My Real Estate Dojo, guys. If you have any questions and comments, I'll take some of this stuff. Tony, what's going on, man? Thanks, brother. Yes. Reliable tree service. What's going on, man? Thank you, man. Man, what part of the country are you from? I mean, are you in? And do you do lawn care service? Okay, because I think that's a pretty good business to be in. Okay, let's go to Dean. He says, the new flip, baby. You'll be richer than possible. Can believe getting you guys. Mike D is the man. Appreciate it, Dean. Guys, my spelling and my reading, sucks at the 8th grade level. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I start where I stand. I've already wrote a bunch of books, right? I make sales in them. I've changed people's lives from it. So just because you have a disability doesn't mean you shouldn't be your dreams. Just because you don't have any money, this doesn't mean you can't be your dreams. You got to ask a stinky banker. Okay. Every business I ever started, I've never borrowed any money. Never. For example, when I started my moving company, I decided to live in my car with $100 so I can have a surplus. When I started my real estate brokerage firm, I just funded it with my cash that I had with my other business, my moving company. When I started buying houses, okay, well, guess what? The banks were now lending at that time because they constracted. So what did I do? What I did is I used my imagination, creativity, and find motivated sellers to buy their home. Who are motivated sellers? Well, people that are behind on payments, people that are going through divorces, people that have job loss, people that have vacant homes and they're making double payments. So instead of them bleeding to death and going to foreclosure, I figured a win-win where they didn't win and I didn't win, but we both got the deal done, and helped them out. So even today, after I donated all my stuff, you know, I had a bunch of stuff, businesses, multiple businesses. After I give it all the stuff to the homeless people, I'm coming back right now, starting my business from ground zero. from homeless, guys. I was homeless for 2 years, traveled in America, lived out of my car with my dog Lucky, coming back and starting a business with not, I'm not putting no money on credit cards. I'm not borrowing no money from banks. I'm just grinding it. I'm tightening my belt to be my dreams. I sleep on an air mattress, right? And guess what? That's exactly what you got to do if you want to be your dreams. That's exactly what you got to do. You don't become your dreams by getting a handout. You don't become your. I mean, in America, you can become your dreams getting into debt, right? You can be a debtpreneur. There's a lot of debtpreneurs out there. If you look at them, they look really rich. But the way I look at life is like this: the money I have and the liability that I have. If I add it up, if it's negative, then I'm in debt, right? And if you add a lot of these people's money up, and they're in debt, and I don't want to borrow money from a bank. I want to use my imagination and creativity. We live in the best country ever, America. So I'm willing to do the sweat equity. I'm willing to bend over. If I see some money on the floor, pick it up, right? I'm willing to, if I'm driving down and I see a treasure at a trash can, I'm willing to turn around and get it and hustle because I rather hustle than beg a banker for some money. That's the reality of it. And if you want to be your dreams in America, you got to hustle. You can't just wait around and borrow some money and read bunch because hustle requires action, not learning. Learning comes after the action. But in our society today, they want you to teach you a bunch of stuff because it's money making. Like when you go to school, the state makes a lot of money from high school to elementary. When you go to college, the university makes a lot of money. So it's about debt enslavement versus freedom. And what I teach at my real estate dojo is I teach business owners and real estate investors and dream chasers to be their dreams without credit card, without a bank. Yes, it will require hard work. Yes, it will require sacrifice. Yes, it will require some crying. Yes, it will require you pulling your hair like, right? But end of the day, you're your own man. End of the day, you're not begging anyone to be your dreams. End of the day, no one has you by the leash. Now, some people don't care about that, and that's awesome for them. I'm happy for them. But some people care about being a free man. And what I teach at myrealestatedojo.com, mrnofluff.com, is entrepreneurship without debt, where you can be your dreams by starting where you stand. You don't need no extra credit. You don't need no degrees. You don't need no money. You just start where you stand, which is action. Anyways, guys, thanks for liking the video. One other thing, we're having a 98% sell at My Real Estate Dojo. I have some of my best selling courses right now for just a couple of bucks, guys. So New Year's is coming. The wins are coming. The wins of opportunity are coming. They're actually already here. And if you want to capitalize on your business, if you want to get in real estate, then go to My Real Estate Dojo. If you want to start a business with just $100, right? Even if you don't know anything about business, if you have a full-time job, you want to have a side hustle, or if you want to have a full-time business with $100, then download the new Flip. If you apply it and you take actions, I don't know why you wouldn't have any success because I do it. My students do it. The ones that take action. Now, there's a lot of people that don't take action. Nothing will work for you guys. Yes. New Orleans. What's up, man? What's going on? Awesome, man. So are you in the cutting grass business, my man? Hey guys, since I'm already here, well, why don't I play some drums for you guys? A lot of you guys don't know. I bought this tone back and I've been trying to play it, and every day, or I should say every week, I practice it, right? And I haven't taken any classes or anything, but we'll see what I got. And that's the reality of any kind of thing you do. All you have to do is just show up, man. All you got to do is just show up and just do it. Just do it.
guys, you just get your stuff, whatever you want to do in life, and you just take action. If you're learning and you're not taking action, I swear to you, you're missing out on life, guys. Uh, the reality is, action will teach you. Now, my the better half of me taught me a great lesson the other day. We're sitting together as a family, and we're opening nuts, right? We're opening walnuts because we realize that we don't want to drink milk, cow milk anymore, because it's really bad for us. So we're making our own almond milk. And she said, "Look, we're sitting there, we're breaking these almonds because she bought a bunch of them for cheap. Because if you crack your own almonds, they're a lot cheaper." And she said, "This is how your coaching is. You could sit here and crack the almonds yourself, and it's really cheap, but it takes a long time to get it. Or you can buy it at the store, at Whole Foods, and they're already cracked up. But instead of just paying $1 per pound, you may be paying $10 per pound. But the difference is the sureness of getting what you want. And that's what my coaching and my products do. Anyone can do this stuff. I mean, I did it through massive failure. And that cost a lot of money, guys, right? Before I was able to do it right. So if you want to do it for free, there's a lot of information out there, but just know you got to put your time into it. You got to make a lot of mistakes. But if you want to get the almonds already boxed up, ready to go, so you can start eating it or start making money, then my real estate dojo is where it's at. It's going to cost you just a little bit, but on the other hand, it gives you wings to fly. So you have the option of just reading blogs and reading forums and watching a bunch of YouTube channels, right? And you can do it, right? This is America. That's what makes it so great. We live in an era of free, right? But remember, you'll take you a lot longer, just like cracking the almonds, cleaning them out, and end of the day, it may cost you a lot more time and money, and your harvest might be a lot less, because that's exactly what happens when you're new. If I would hire a coach, I could learn how to play this tone bag a lot better than if I don't. But I don't. But at the same time, just because I don't doesn't mean I'm not learning how to play it. Every day I play, well, at least a couple times a week I play it, and I take pride in it. I do it out of love. No one makes me do it, and I have my kid do it. And I mean, I should say every day we all do it, because she will play the tombak and I'll play the flute. So every day I'm doing something. I'm not paying people to learn how to do it. I'm just doing it by failing. Now it's almost like a year or 6 months. I don't remember exactly that I've been doing this. And have I gotten any good? Yeah. A lot better than before. I didn't even know how to play it, right? And still I can't play it, but I got a lot better by just applying it. So my services are like, you can get the walnuts all that are shelled out and they're in the package, you're ready to eat it, or you can go and climb the tree, shake the tree, let it fall down, put it in packages, and then get a little cracker thing and crack each one and clean it, and then eat it. Either way, you're gonna eat the almonds or walnut or whatever you like, and it would get you healthy and get you results. But the most important thing is to get off your ass and do something, because if you're just watching and you're just reading, you're never going to go anywhere. That's why I said start where you stand, guys. Thanks so much. Click the like button. Let me know what state you're from. And one other thing, do you think the real estate crash is coming? Do you think we're going to have a big crash? I'd love to hear your opinions. I'll leave everyone's opinions. Much love.